Welcome to the Sleep Charming podcast, the podcast where I help you drift off for a good night's sleep or simply take a moment to relax. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let me read you an old story. You pull up to a cottage nestled into a valley. Snowy mountains with a purple hue encircle the cottage in a protective halo. Snow is falling gently from the sky, as if the clouds are dusting the earth with powdered sugar. The path leading up to the cottage is lined with small pine trees. A bright red cardinal is perched atop one. He sings at you as you step out of your car. The snow crunches underneath your boots. In front of the cottage are two blooming holly bushes. The berries add a nice pop of colour to the snow that is piled on top of them. A fuzzy chipmunk runs across the pathway, leaving delicate paw prints behind him. The air is cold around you, but you are bundled up nicely. A fluffy hat keeps your ears warm, and a tightly knitted scarf is wrapped around your face and neck. The world is quiet, save for the wind and various wildlife that lives in the valley. You enter the cottage. Beneath your feet is a camel-coloured welcome mat. You're careful to get all the snow off your boots before you enter the cottage. As you walk in, you are greeted by a comforting sight. To the left is the living room. The walls are painted a soothing forest green. There is a chimney on the far wall with greenery on the mantel. A fire is crackling in the fireplace. There is a plush blanket decorated with tassels and snowflake patterns draped on a cream-coloured sofa. A fluffy black cat is asleep on the blanket, its tail flickering ever so slowly. To your right is the bedroom. An elegant down comforter hangs over the edge of the mattress. A mountain of pillows, each intricately embroidered with beautiful patterns and a kaleidoscope of colours, sits by the velvet headboard. String lights hang from the ceiling like a spiderweb speckled with gossamer dewdrops. The lights paint the room in a gentle yellow glow. On the walls are long strings of twine, each adorned with various Polaroids you've taken over the years. Many feature your friends and family. The one closest to your bed is a close-up picture of the cat. Its pink nose taking up a good portion of the frame. Many of these photos are dated at the bottom, keeping a log of when these precious memories happened. Attached to the bedroom, in the back of the house, is the bathroom. There is a beautiful clawfoot bathtub filled with steaming water. Rose-scented bubbles are piled up on top of the water. The bathroom is lit by candlelight. The back wall has an enormous window with a stunning view of the mountains. The sun is just now going down, painting the sky in hues of lavender and pink and orange. You decide to step into the bath. The water is the perfect temperature, not too hot to burn you, but warm enough to soothe your weary bones. As you settle into the bathtub, the candlelight reflects off the bubbles like a million sparkling diamonds. You lean your head back and close your eyes. You focus on your breathing. You breathe in for 3 seconds, hold, then breathe out. You continue this way until your heart rate is slow and rhythmic. You are safe. You are comfortable. You are deserving of rest. The cat pads into the bathroom and jumps on the windowsill. Its silhouette is a stark contrast against the pure white snow outside. As the moon rises, light reflects off the snow. You see the cat watching something. Its bright green eyes dart back and forth, its tail flickering. You follow its gaze. Outside amidst the snow is a mother deer and her fawn. The doe looks at you, unblinking. Her baby prances about around her, kicking up the snow around it. They walk across the yard, leaving clean hoof prints behind them. You let the water drain from the bathtub. The sound of the draining water is oddly calming. You dry off and wrap yourself in a plush bathrobe. It is soft and warm against your skin and has deep pockets to bury your hands in. You make your way to the living room and light a vanilla-scented candle. As the smell of vanilla slowly wafts through the air, you pick up a book and settle into a beanbag chair by the fireplace. You bought this book earlier today. The pages are silky smooth against your thumb as you flip through them. You inhale that new book smell, just as good as you remembered it. The cat follows you out and curls up on your lap. Its eyes are closed and it falls asleep. It breathes in a slow, steady rhythm. The extra weight on your lap is grounding. A gentle purr comes from the cat, a low rumble that vibrates against you. The book is nicely weighted in your hands. You page through the first chapter. You read about a princess locked away in a tower, and the prince and his animal friends who venture out to save her. You decide to put the book down when the cat gets off you. You stand up and stretch. You lock your fingers together and arch your arms over your head. Hold for 3 seconds, then release your arms slowly. You reach down and touch your toes. The stretch in your hamstrings is refreshing. You twist your body and feel the deep stretch in your back. You blow out the candle and make your way to the kitchen. The kitchen is, of course, just as stunning as the rest of the cottage. There is an island in the center of the room, and all the countertops are covered in white marble. The cabinets are also white and sport golden handles with floral detailing. There's a planter hanging from the ceiling in the corner of the room. A vibrant, heartless philodendron is rooted in this pot. You previously took great care to pin up the long, leafy vines to the wall, adding to the fairy tale aesthetic of the cottage. Along the windowsill, above the sink, are 4 small pots, each with a different herb: basil, catnip, thyme, and rosemary. You pluck a leaf off the catnip plant and leave it for the little black cat. It trots towards you and rolls on top of the leaf. You can't help but giggle at your little feline friend. You retrieve a kettle from the cabinet next to the sink, fill it with water, and put it on the stove to boil. Your tea collection is expansive. From jasmine to chai, from Earl Grey to oolong, you have it. You pull a glass container filled to the brim with loose leaf tea from the top shelf of your pantry. Chamomile would do nicely today, you think to yourself. The water begins to bubble. You can hear quite the rumbling inside the kettle. You put your hand about an inch away from the kettle and feel the warmth radiating against your palm. The cat rubs against your leg, eager to show you affection. Finally, the water boils. The all too familiar whistle of the teapot cuts through the silence. Calmly, you pick it up by one hand and pour a healthy amount of water into your favorite mug. The mug is ceramic, light pink, and has a painting of a cactus on the inside. You bought it one day at the local farmer's market from your favorite vendor. The one that has the old golden retriever with the white face that lies underneath the table with the cash register. Her name is Honey. She's been there as long as you can remember. Her owner is equally friendly and occasionally gives you discounted tea for being a loyal customer. You portion out a bit of loose leaf chamomile and leave it to steep. You prefer your tea black. It's easier to appreciate the natural flavor that way. But you keep honey and sugar on hand just in case. Occasionally your best friend will stop by. They, of course, have an incurable sweet tooth. Whenever they visit, they bring a dessert with them. The last time it was glazed chocolate croissants. You are determined, though, to prepare something delicious for next time. You found a recipe for a chocolate cake recently. Maybe you'll make that one day soon and invite your friend over. You cross the room to the window. The snow has all but stopped. There is just over a foot on the ground. You have always thought that this was the perfect amount. It's deep enough to make sure no grass peeks out, but the roads are still clear enough to safely travel. You pick up your mug, reveling in its warmth as you cup your hands around it, and slip on a pair of moccasins. You step outside and marvel at the world around you. It truly looks magical. The steam from your tea rises up and dissipates into the cold air. You feel your cheeks flush against the freezing temperature. As you stand on your back patio, gazing up into the mountains that seem to reach up into the sky forever, you are comforted at how small you are in the universe. You gaze up to the night sky. Thousands, no millions of stars are bright and sparkling. The aurora twirls through the sky like a luminescent ribbon. Against the celestial backdrop, the snow-capped evergreens seem all the more welcoming. You hear the fluttering of wings above you. You turn around and catch a snowy owl taking a flight. You follow it with your eyes, taking great care not to bother it. You watch in amazement as the owl shrinks away into the distance. The soft wing beats blurring into the horizon until you can no longer see it. Just before the cold becomes uncomfortable, you head back inside. You take a sip of your tea. It is pleasantly flavored with subtle earthy tones. How fitting that the chamomile flower is so lovely. You think of the daisy-like flower as you reminisce on your childhood. You remember being a young child picking wildflowers on a warm summer's day. The sun was high above your head, and the sky was the most vibrant shade of blue. Cotton ball clouds danced in the sky, and the chittering of songbirds filled your ears. You ran through a field with a sense of wonderment. A brightly colored butterfly lands on your fingertip, flutters its wings delicately, and then flies away. The field is alive with lavender, daisies, baby's breath. You breathe in. The smell of fresh flowers is soothing. You gather a bouquet's worth of wildflowers, then hurry back home. You place them in a vase with fresh water and wait for your mother to come home, hoping to surprise her. You're back in the present, sipping your tea. You think back to your childhood fondly. It treated you well, and now you can truly appreciate the blessings of adulthood. You look around your home, decorated just the way you like it, shared with a fluffy cat, and you smile. Your life is wholesome and gentle. The stresses of the outside world cannot find you here. Content, you find your favorite slow jazz vinyl and place it on a vintage record player with a brass horn. As the music starts to play, you slowly begin to dance in small circles. The fire is still crackling in the fireplace. The cat weaves in between your feet and lets out a soft-pitched meow. You put your mug down on a coaster and pick up the cat, holding it close to your chest. It purrs and nuzzles its head against your forehead. You spin in time to the music, smiling. You are safe. You are loved. You are happy.